Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of Varsity Aces Live. I'm your host, NorthJersey.com local sports columnist Darren. And as I said on Twitter a little while ago, our show tonight will be very presidential, as I am honored to be joined by Triple H. No, it is not Triple H. It is Joe Spafford, the co-president of the Bergen County Coaches Association, and Miss Nicole Pacciani, the president of the Bergen County Women's Coaches Association. Guys, I am so happy y'all had time to come on and talk tonight. How are y'all doing? Joe, how are you?
I'm all right. You know, we had a little tree in the backyard I take care of today. Other than that, just getting ready for fall sports, hopefully.
Join the club with that tree. What about you, Nicole? You cut down a tree? Any trees today?
No, thankfully no trees today. I'm doing well. Thankful to have power.
Oh, you are lucky. Yes, I have to say a shout out to my dear friend Paul Schwartz, who was supposed to be on with us today and arranged for this, but he does not have power up in Wanacue, so he is unfortunately absent. So let's start. There's a lot of things I've always wanted to have you guys on to talk to, because I don't think enough people in our area in North Jersey understand the importance of both coaches associations. And we'll go right away to the decision made last week about the fall county tournaments. Obviously, it's going to be a fall unlike any other we've ever had before. There's going to be caps on the number of games played during the regular season. And I'd like to I'll throw it out to both of you. You know, what was the conversation behind the decision to postpone, I guess, fall county tournaments in Bergen County?
The whole idea was, once the state condensed the season, 4 or 5 weeks ago now in early July, with September 14th practice date, October 1st start date, it really hindered, our opportunity to allow for our tournaments to take place. And for us, it's really in the fall, it's boys soccer and cross country. For the girls, it's a lot more.
Sure.
Yeah, the fall is our heaviest season for the BCWCA. We have cross country, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, tennis, and field hockey. So when Joe had first reached out to me about the change in the season dates, I immediately went straight to the tournament directors and I was like, here's what we have to work with. What do you think? But then as more information came down from the state is when we had to make the ultimate decision.
So are we still – is there still a chance? Is there still a chance?
Well, here's the thing. We started out, the first thing we did was we reached out to Sharon Hughes of the Big North, Stan Frazinski of the NJIC, and said, hey, we would like to hold our tournaments. We don't want to compromise your league play in any which way. Can we work together? And initially it was great. They said they were going to talk about it at their executive committee meetings, which they did. And what came out of that was really, we need more guidance from the state.
Okay.
The guidance came out probably a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago now, with the
guidance about the caps on games, Joe.
Caps on games, yeah. So there's 14 max games in most sports, regular season, 2 games a week. With that 2-game-a-week guidance, with an October 1st start date,
6-week season.
Yeah.
6-week season, and we really couldn't hold tournaments as we had hoped. To be fair, the conferences came back and said, listen, this is what came out from the state. We don't know what we're doing schedule-wise yet.
Okay.
So we don't know. Think about Palisades Park for me is in the NJIC Patriot. We have 9 boys soccer teams in the Patriot. So that's 16 regular season games. So that right there exceeds. So the conference still doesn't know how they're going to schedule or planning on multiple variations of schedules. And until the state comes out with more information, and that information came out last Thursday when Colleen McGuire put out the 2+1 weeks.
Yes.
So the 2 weeks you're allowed to play three games in a week. What that can do is that sort of can allow, maybe we can revisit, and because we postponed it, now we're going to have that conversation once the Big North and NJIC come out with their schedules. So it's pending on that. And to be fair to the 2 conferences, the Big North is Bergen and Passaic. The NJIC is Bergen, Passaic, Hudson, and Morris. So, we have to be fair to our conferences first.
Nicole, it's just a lot of moving parts, right? It's just a lot of variables on a moving part.
I know, it really is, and that's the toughest part. We could plan now, put together models, but in reality, we would have to put together several models to see what fits in what the final outcome would be. So we're just waiting. It's a wait and see. It's a wait and see game right now to see what the NJSIAA comes up with.
Do we have any sense of when we'll have the conference schedules finalized, like before school starts? September, a couple of weeks, another month?
I was told mid to late August for the NJIC. Football came out, but we don't have a county tournament football, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I think they were waiting to see what came out last week to start the process.
I heard. Oh, hi.
Oh,
hey, it's okay. My 10-year-old.
Yeah.
That was cute.
The future of Bergen County, right there.
I had heard similarly that we should be seeing schedules the first or second week of August.
Okay.
But I'm not an athletic director, so I don't know.
Has there been any thought by both organizations about what we're going to do in the winter with the county tournaments in the winter? Joe, the Jamboree, man, that's a big deal. You too, Nicole, the girls basketball tournament.
I know.
The Jamboree is our biggest tournament. It's our biggest money maker in what we make in. And we're a nonprofit. We don't make money. That money goes back in scholarships to each school. So if we don't have the Jamboree, I don't know what scholarships are going to look like come May.
So do we have I guess that's a wait and see too. Like we got to wait November 1st, October 1st.
Yeah. Right.
Well, we have to see how the fall pans out. If all goes successfully, I think hopefully maybe we'll get a little bit more leeway when it comes to the winter season, maybe a longer season, maybe more games per week. Then we can really make something happen.
Right.
All right. Want to remind our viewers that you're watching Varsity Aces Live. We're joined by the president of the Bergen County Women's Coaches Association, Nicole Pacciani, and the co-president, Bergen County Coaches Association. What, Nicole?
Dad, I have to stop you. The double C in Italian is a CH. Pacciani.
I'm from Louisiana.
I'm from Louisiana.
I thought it was close. Nicole and Joe. All right. Now, next question. Next question is for you, Nicole.
Okay.
I have been lucky enough to be around Bergen County athletics for almost 20 years. And I still don't think enough people understand what the county coaches associations do. What's the purpose of the BCWCA, Nicole?
So the purpose of the BCWCA is to really create a space for female athletes in Bergen County to participate in tournaments. And over the years, we've grown, including more and more sports, to the point where now we have just added another sport last year. And it's just the opportunity to provide a tournament for each female sport, just as there's a tournament for each male sport in Bergen County.
And Joe, the BCCA, they've been around longer than the BCW. 1935.
Our goal is to recognize the student athletes of Bergen County to the best ability we can, to host quality tournaments, to recognize outstanding student athletes, and coaches as well.
Absolutely, yes.
It's a Century Club still going on? Is that still a thing? Do we still?
It is.
Tell us what that is. I know what it is. You guys know it. I'm not sure everybody in the audience would know what it is. What's the Century Club?
So the Century Club is an achievement a coach gets for every 100 wins. So for every 100 wins you accumulate, you get invited to the banquet, and we give you a trophy, and you're celebrated among your peers, among your colleagues. It's a very prestigious achievement. Not many people can say I have over 500 wins or I have 1,000 wins like Jeff Jasper does. So it's a chance to really celebrate coaches among coaches.
There's also special recognition awards, assistant coach, top assistant coach. People can nominate, or head coaches can nominate their assistants, and there's other awards as well of that nature.
Okay.
And this year's dinner obviously was canceled, so we're going to double up next year's dinner.
Yes.
And the most controversial thing both coaches or associations do, they do something called the all-county teams in each sport. And everybody always thinks that the media is the one picking the all-county teams. But in Bergen County, as Joe said, like the tradition dates back to way, way back. Every year, every season, it seems to be some email comes my way complaining about the all-county. And it varies, too, from sport to sport. How are the all-county teams picked? Come on, tell people, give people the straight answer.
So go ahead, Joe.
The coaches select it.
Yeah,
I mean, basically, each sport for us has a liaison. That liaison leads the all-county selection process. For us, for Big North or for non-football sports, we have it's typically 8 voters. So typically it's the winner of each division, 4 in the NJIC, 4 in the Big North. Their head coach is a representative. They get the vote. The liaison leads, or the division votes for their all-division team. They create a push for all-county. The all-county votes or pushes are brought to the all-county selection night. And the liaison leads the coaches in the voting process.
And it's that easy. Right? It takes about 30 minutes each team, right? About 30 minutes tops. No,
it can be 4 or 5 hours sometimes. It's a lot easier now.
I've been to selection meetings where the lights have gone off. Yeah, very, very similar to the BCCA, the BCWCA. We have a selection committee in some instances where coaches from the Big North and the NJIC vote amongst that particular group, usually between 6 to 10 coaches.
You know, I think, too, we were talking about the county tournaments a while at the start of the show. Again, I'm Darren Cooper. This is Varsity Aces Live. We got Bergen County Coaches Association presidents, Nicole and Joe. I'm not even going to try to say Nicole, but Pacciani.
Very good. You got it. Now you're from North Jersey.
So, but I think we've seen something real interesting happen. This is an unplanned question. I think we've seen something real interesting happen in the last 10 years with both county tournaments at both levels, where we've seen non-public schools emerge as predominant, strong. And so we've seen some changes in how the tournaments are have been conducted, especially on the girls' side. Nicole, we saw some changes on the girls' basketball. It's just adapting to the times, right? Trying to create a better level playing field for all the teams in Bergen County.
Yes, that's what I would say. As much as we want to keep the county tournament a prestigious.
Son of a gun, I asked Nicole a tough question and she freezes up on me.
Oh. Can you hear me now? Okay. For as much as we want to, I think so too. For as much as we want to keep the integrity of the tournament, we do want to make it an opportunity or a place where every team can be involved. Should I stop?
You're still on.
Keep going. Hey, Darren, we'll get Darren back here in a second. Keep going.
Oh, just me keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, we created not only the county tournament itself, but invitational tournaments as well, as a place where everybody can compete.
Joe, same kind of thing. Are we at a point where boys need to look at changing some of the format of their county tournaments?
We haven't gotten to that discussion yet. You can argue that some of the non-public dominate certain sports. You see what Bosco and Bergen have done in basketball, Bosco in baseball over the last 10 years or so. But we still have very good public schools competing, making semifinals, finals, winning the whole thing. You see what Rampo's done in boys soccer. It's not out of the ordinary for
baseball.
Yeah,
Last couple of years.
it's not out of the ordinary for a public school to make it or even win it. So we haven't gotten to that. We've seen our biggest change in football with the all-county selection process, because Tony Carthage probably 3-4 years ago went around and talked to a lot of coaches and developed a new all-county selection process that we voted in, and basically all the Super Football Conference, both the publics and non-publics get X amount of kids on the all-county team, and the NJIC gets X amount of kids on the all-county team. So you can really pick the all-county football team with just Bergen, Bosco, Joe's, Prams Catholic. When you have running backs on Don Bosco going to Wisconsin, not getting all-county recognition because his teammates going to Rutgers and had it's a hard process. So
I encounter I wish we had more time. We could totally delve into this part of the conversation, because I run across this too with our own team. We pick on our jerseys that there's the best, but then there's deserving, and right. I always make the point, I'm not picking on any one school. Fort Lee, Fort Lee probably has a couple, if they didn't have Joe X playing running back, maybe they never score a touchdown. They go 3-7, but he's their whole team. How do you right? And how do you compare him to a Jalen Berger for Bosco going to Wisconsin? Well, you can't. So one's clearly better than the other, and one's clearly better than the other. But does the Fort Lee kid deserve to be recognized? Holy smoke, he kind of does. He does. So it's a constant battle. I have a debate with people all the time. There's best and there's deserving. So, if I want to join the organization, if I'm a coach watching right now and I've never heard of this before, how do I become active in both coaches associations?
If you are a coach watching right now and you coach a female sport, please email me. I want you. We are always looking for young coaches with fresh ideas, new ideas, anything they can spot that maybe they have a question about. We want you. We want you. Please reach out to me. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me via my email, via the website. Email me. I'll give you Nicole's information. I would love to meet with you.
Joe, what about membership for you guys? What about membership?
Same thing. To be a member, you just have to coach. For us, it's a male sport, so reach out. Twitter, email. Each sport has a liaison. The liaisons host all the preseason meetings. All coaches are welcome to go to those, not just head coaches. So attend, see if you like it, and get involved.
That's all.
I'm curious. We should explain to our audience too, maybe just why we have a Bergen County Women Coaches Association and why we have a BCCA. Joe was saying before we went in, the BCCA dates back to 1935. Then Title IX came around in 1972, and we had an explosion of girls' sports. It's still happening, actually. Mm-hmm. It is kind of a unique situation to have two separate organizations. Am I wrong or am I right?
I think we're the only county with something similar.
I think so.
And the reason why, I don't know. It predates me. It predates, it's never been part of a discussion in my 8 years with the organization. I don't know.
Well, how closely, Joe and Nicole, how closely do y'all, work together? How much do y'all talk?
These past 5-6 months, Joe and I are daily texters now.
Do you know the name of Joe's kid who's in the background then, Nicole? Do you know the name of Joe? Do you know the name of Joe's kid who's in the background then?
Actually, I don't know her name. No, I'm sorry. But she is adorable. These past few months is where we really have come together to collaborate and figure out what to do, because we decided very early on, and this started with the cancellation of the winter all county dinner. Whereas like I said, if the men's association cancels, we have to, and vice versa. One association can't hold the dinner without the other. Like we're going to make that joint decision. And Joe and I sat down, talked about it, and we made the decision. And from there on out, we are constantly in communication with each other. He runs something by me, I bring it to my association, vice versa. It's worked very well. It's been a pleasure working with you, Joe. It really
we've been in each other's meetings. We've it has to be similar in all these cases. Overall, the associations do a lot of things very similarly.
Mm-hmm.
Some of our tournaments are run a little different. Some what we recognize all county-wise, based on like bylaws and constitutions and constitutional changes and all that. But for the most part, we're very similar. And we also have 55 schools in the county.
55.
It's an enormous amount based on compared to any other county.
Could we possibly see some more synergy then down the? My first thought is like the girls, if and when we have Bergen County girls wrestling, which I know and then we have the Jockish tournament. Like, could we see some synergy start to develop though, where like girls are at this session, the tournament session, or just hey, we're all going to be facing budget cuts, right? I mean, every school, everybody's gonna be facing budget cuts. Is there any way that the organization kind of piggyback off of each other if and when events get up and running again? Is there a way we can, help streamline costs if we have the Jamboree final at FDU and the girls final at FDU, that kind of thing? I'm just throwing out an idea.
I think that's something we can bring to the table, as things start to clear up and we do finally get back on the high school sports horse, for lack of a better term. But again, it's just as we keep going now that Joe and I know we work very well together and our associations have been working very well together. Like it's something that we can look forward to in the future. Help each other, just keep helping each other out.
Right.
So, Joe, getting close to the end here. How'd you become president? How'd you become president of the BCCA?
It was my turn on the totem pole. For the BCCA, it's usually a 2-year stint as president, and then you have president, you have first vice president, second vice president, and then your whatever liaison or co-liaison or your job description, and you just rise up the ranks. And some people accept the position of president. Some people say, nah, I'd like to stay behind the scenes and don't join. I'm actually co-president right now. I'm entering my 3rd year term of the term, and which that's a first as far as I know. It's because Colin Church from Hackensack is the co-president right now. He was the first vice president. He was supposed to step into this, but with COVID and this all chaos, and he asked if I could just help him along a little bit. So the association decided to be co-presidents, and next year Colin will be the president, and Sean Buchanan from Pass Lake Valley, then Mikey Carsage from Demers Woodridge, and we have a succession line for the next 10 years or so.
But now, Nicole, it's a little different for you.
Very different. I first got involved in the association maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I was actually maybe more than that now. I was a young coach at Emerson, and we went to go NJIC school. We wanted to enter the county tournament, and I just wanted to learn more. And I didn't understand how it worked. I didn't understand how all county selection worked or how seeding worked for a big tournament like that. We got an email out from the president of the BCWCA at the time, I believe was Diane, asking for people to come and volunteer. So I showed up. A couple years later, I was the recording secretary. A couple years after that, I was co-president with Diane my first year also to kind of, she helped me a lot, mentored me. And then now I'm 2 years on my own. And I'm still learning everything.
It was great talking to both of you. I got one personal request: bring back the symposium. Bring back the
last year.
We just had one.
We had one 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
We had to cancel this one.
Yeah.
We had it all set. With a really good guest, but we had to cancel it.
I tell symposium stories Greg Toll told a symposium. You know, there's a Toll story from the symposium. Oh my goodness, drawing a total blank. Jim Fucci at Cliffside Park was amazing at a symposium many years ago. Mike Turkoff at the last one, I thought
great. He was great.
There's been some very good ones.
Yes, no, that's something that I also enjoy too. I enjoy being among my peers, being together with my fellow coaches. So anytime we can do something like that, we try to.
Well, I have enjoyed a few minutes with both of you, Joe and Nicole. It was great having Joe Triple H, Nicole Pacciani. But I'm glad we all had power and it all worked out. That was Joe Spafford, the president of the Bergen County Coaches Association, co-president, and that was Nicole Pacciani, president of the Bergen County Women's Coaches Association. And I'm Darren Cooper, here alone tonight. Paul Schwartz still doesn't have power. Hope everybody is safe wherever you are watching us. And that'll wrap things up here. Remember, let the coaches coach, the players play, and the officials officiate. And let the Varsity Aces tell you what you need to know. Good night, everybody.